Casey, what do we know about the next steps in this campaign?
Yeah, so Joe Biden can endorse a successor. Gemma, John, good morning to both of you. But it's not his decision to make about who will be the nominee. The decision, the power to pick the Democratic nominee is in the hands of the delegates to the Democratic National Convention. These are mostly, about 3/4 of them, people who were elected and selected through the primary and caucuses process of the first half of the year, that Joe Biden, without any real serious competition, won comprehensively. He won nearly all but about 40 of 4,000 or so delegates. So we can assume that they are loyal to Joe Biden and loyal to the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris ticket. First question, though, is will Kamala Harris have any challenges for the nomination? We know there have been some in the party who think they're probably a contested convention with, a chance to vet some candidates and try people out on the national stage. That might be actually helpful in some ways. We heard reporting that Nancy Pelosi was privately suggesting that might be the way to go, even as a supporter of Kamala Harris. Now, Kamala Harris has a massive head start here with the endorsement from Joe Biden. She's been ramping up a series of endorsements through the morning Australian time, and a very important one that she's just got would have been from someone who was potentially a challenger to her. This is a statement from the California Governor, Gavin Newsom. I'll just read it in full because it's very brief. He posted it on social media about 16, 17 minutes ago. He says, "Tough, fearless, tenacious, with our democracy at stake and our future on the line, no one is better to prosecute the case against Donald Trump's dark vision and guide our country in a healthier direction than America's Vice President Kamala Harris." So there's an endorsement from Gavin Newsom rather than a challenge. There are other people in the mix that might want to challenge. We'll see if any of them eventuate. If there is a challenge, it goes to the convention. The delegates will have to decide.
We have also, Casey, seen endorsements early from other potential rivals and now potential VP picks. Josh Shapiro, the popular governor of Pennsylvania, one of those crucial Rust Belt states that Democrats have to win if they're going to win the election in November. He's given a full-throated endorsement of Kamala Harris. That President Obama has not endorsed Harris, even though we know that he was one of her great champions and was responsible for getting support for her to enter the Senate in 2016 and to run for president in 2019 and then to be on Biden's ticket. Do we read much into that, do you think, the fact that he's leaving that door open to maybe say, look, if there is anybody out there, challenge her? And what if they don't? Will it still look as though the thumbs are on the scale from the Democratic Party establishment? Yeah,
I mean, it's worth probably remembering that Barack Obama didn't endorse Joe Biden very early in the process 4 years ago. I think he wanted to be seen to be playing a unifying role as a sort of elder statesman of the party. That is the seeming word that we're sort of hearing through back channels out of his camp, that he'll come in later and try to play this unifying role, as the party really does need to unify quite quickly if they want to mount a serious campaign. So it's a little bit unclear if he thinks Kamala Harris has got it and will just sort of come in, sweep in at the end and help crown her, or if he's just sort of seeing what's out there. There are notably several people who have not, several senior people who have yet to sort of jump on the Harris bandwagon, if you like. Just one other name, Senator Joe Manchin, who's been a real thorn in the side of Joe Biden. He was a Democrat, kind of quit the party and moved to the what we'd call the crossbench, as sitting as an independent. Now CNN and a few other sources have reported he's considering maybe he should re-register as a Democrat and run in this process. I don't like his chances of winning the nomination, but maybe he is considering whether at least he should throw a spanner in the works and at least force it to a primary process of some sort.
There was a long discussion as to whether Joe Manchin would run as an independent third-party candidate for president this year, or whether he would challenge Joe Biden as well. So Joe Manchin, who's almost as old as Donald Trump and Joe Biden, is clearly, he hasn't put that little ambition away, in part because he is going to lose his Senate seat this year because it's in unwinnable West Virginia. So I guess Joe is not ready to let go.
And I'll just say one other thing that Kamala Harris has going for is she's already started racking up delegates. The Tennessee delegation to the Democratic National Convention on Sunday afternoon held a discussion and a vote very quickly after Joe Biden announced he would step down, and unanimously voted and agreed to support Kamala Harris. So if you're starting to run the numbers, well, that's Kamala Harris. I think it's 77 delegates out of the 1968
to go.
So if you're running the numbers, if it is going to go to the ballot, then she's already off the blocks.